Today's story is about Padre Pio's ecstasy and devotion to the child Jesus. So this is a good one for Christmas time. Hello, my name is Edward Urban, and I'm presenting the channel following Padre Pio, at which we look at the absolutely incredible life of Padre Pio, full of miracles and wonders. He carried the stigmata, that is the wounds of our Lord Jesus Christ, on his hands and feet, bilocations and things like that. Please do like and share our videos with your friends and colleagues, and if you do that, you will automatically be included in this Friday's Mass Prayer Intentions. If you subscribe to our channel, then you'll be able to follow us more easily on YouTube. But the best way to join our apostolate is in fact to enroll your Mass Prayer Intentions, and then you'll be included in every monthly Mass for Padre Pio. Now, you may have heard the story of Saint Anthony of Padua, in which someone looked into this room and they saw Saint Anthony in an ecstasy, but carrying, holding the infant Jesus in his hands. He was obviously adoring, our Lord Jesus, who's God. And now we may ask, well, did Padre Pio have anything similar to this? Well, let's have a look at some incidents, some testimonies of reliable people. Now, before the celebration of the Nativity, that is on Christmas Eve, Padre Pio used to go and have conversations, used to converse with the faithful who were gathered in the church, or just outside the church, in the sacristy. And various witnesses reported that they observed that at these times, Padre Pio's face was just transfigured in a way they could not explain. So that is the first part of the story. Now, there are actually so many stories and anecdotes about Padre Pio that we have to select a few of the most significant ones from the life of this great saint. And this one comes from the diary of the superior of the monastery of San Giovanni Rotondo. And his name is Ignazio del Illesa. And the superior recollects in his diary the testimony of a Lucia Idanza, who was in fact a spiritual daughter of Padre Pio. This is how the story went. On the 24th of December, in 1922, Padre Pio, when he was young, he had only been ordained in 1910, so he had been a priest 10 years, and he had only recently received the stigmata of the Passion of our Lord. The brothers brought a large brazier into the sacristy in order for people to keep warm. So they were all kind of huddled around this fire, warming themselves up and reciting the rosary while they were waiting for Mass. And Padre Pio, she said, was in their midst, when suddenly, this is what she saw. In a halo of light, I saw the baby Jesus appear in Padre Pio's arms. That is what Lucia says. She says, Padre Pio's face was transfigured. His eyes and his face were bathed in light from the child God, whom he held in his arms, and his lips parted in a smile of ecstasy. She said, then the vision faded from her gaze. But the Padre Pio understood that she had seen it all. So he walked over to her and told her, don't tell anyone. However, it was recorded in the monastery diary. Anyway, one might imagine that this could have been caused by, it was the overstimulation perhaps of her imagination or something, as she was a very devoted spiritual child of Padre Pio. Well, some people may argue that. But here is another testimony which goes beyond suspicion, surely, because it was given by an impartial, very reliable witness. And that is a Father Raffaelli. And he basically confirms her vision. Father Raffaelli, he lived 35 years alongside in the same monastery as Padre Pio, and he was even superior of the convent for some time. And their two rooms were actually adjacent. So he knew Padre Pio very well. And this time it was Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, 1924. That is just 2 years after the previous testimony. And Padre Raffaelli testifies this moving scene. He says, I got up to attend midnight Mass. The hallway before me was a huge dark expanse. and lit only by the small flame of a candle. And then he saw Padre Pio descend into the dark to go into the church, coming into the church. And he says, Padre Pio walked slowly out of his cell. At this point, Padre Raffaele realized that Padre Pio was enveloped in a halo of light surrounding him. And he said, I took a closer look and saw that he was in fact carrying the child Jesus in his arms. Absolutely stunned, he said, I knelt down right there and then, and Padre Pio walked right past me without even realizing my presence. Wow, what a story. How incredible is that? It makes the hairs on one's body stand on end to hear things like that. But please do watch Padre Pio's blessing video, which follows shortly. Just click through to the video. It's a very short, beautiful blessing video.